My 6-week lesson plan was on the Pythagorean theorem and the distance formula. So by the end of this lesson, students will memorize the Pythagorean theorem, be able to apply the Pythagorean theorem to real-world problems, be able to manipulate the Pythagorean theorem to solve for a leg, and understand the connection between the distance formula and the Pythagorean theorem. And they're listed are the Common Core state standards. So I'll start off by modeling some problems and get some definitions. The Pythagorean theorem only applies to right triangles, which are special triangles that have one angle that is 90 degrees. The legs make up the right angle, and the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, the 90-degree angle. So I'll start off by just modeling problems that are kind of straightforward. Two legs, and the students have to solve for the hypotenuse. So the top example, one leg is 3, one leg is 4. 25 equals c squared, take the square root of both sides, and your hypotenuse equals 5. At this point, I'll do some more problems similar to this, and let the students work on their own. And during independent work or group work, I'll have the students solve some problems that they solve for a leg, like the bottom example, where I won't show them how to do it at first, but they'll have to use some critical thinking skills to be able to manipulate the Pythagorean theorem to solve for a leg. And for those students that have a difficult time with that, I can help them in at that point and give them some pointers and get them going in the right direction. Here's a YouTube video. It's a few minutes long. I don't need to play it right now, but it's a proof of the Pythagorean theorem. And then we'll move on to the distance formula. So at this point, I'll just stop here and I'll see if any students see the connection between the distance formula and the Pythagorean theorem. Some students might get it. Some might have a little more difficult time with it, but I'll give them an opportunity to try and solve that problem before we move on to this slide where they can get a better idea. They can kind of see how the distance formula plays in with the Pythagorean theorem. And so for some students, they may be new to the nomenclature of x sub 1 and y sub 1 and x sub 2 and y sub 2. So here you have the difference in the x's have one leg, the differences in the y's form the other leg, and the distance is the hypotenuse. So accommodations and modifications for GATE students, English language learners, and students with disabilities. So GATE students will have the opportunity to prove the theorems before the teacher shows the rest of the class. Students will also have the opportunity to solve difficult problems in a group if every member of that group can finish their regular work on time. English language learners will be provided with a sheet of definitions in English and their native language to help them with lecture and during independent and group work. And students will also be provided resources they can use at home for additional help, such as YouTube, Khan Academy, other websites, and handouts that they can read in their native language and English to help them through. Students with disabilities. Students have modified homework, tests, and quizzes if needed, and they can also be provided with a sheet of definitions to help them through the lecture. So that's it. That's my 6-week lesson plan.